Hi guys, I am John Carrick, author of Legacy of a Mad Scientist and The Legend of Ashley Fox. Today we're looking at 100 Bullets 88 from April of 2008. Wow, we haven't been looking at the last few. So here we go. Cover by Dave Johnson, written by Brian Azzarello, illustrated by Eduardo Risso. This starts off with a new group of characters, and this is interesting because I have seen and heard a bit that has been on social media, specifically on YouTube. That's basically where I spend most of my social media time. As you can see by this channel, that's where I'm putting most of my effort. And it was Quentin Tarantino talking about what got him off his ass and got him to work and, finding his way. And he said specifically he had been working at a retail outlet, the video store, and he had a crew there, a group of friends that they would hang out and party together and go see movies together and do stuff together. And one guy in their crew was 5 years older than the rest of them, and he started having a midlife crisis before the rest of them. And Quentin watched this unfold in slow motion over 6 months or a year and realized that if he didn't do something different, he was going to be in the same boat. And that's what's happening here. This scene is exactly what Quentin talked about. This is a group of kids outside the record shop where they all work and smoke out and, go see shows and go to bars. And, they are a crew. And one of them is leaving to go to college. So here we go. Man, brother, I'm going to miss not having you around. Oh boy, here we go. No, here we don't. I'm just saying my man here made this place bearable to work at sometimes. Yeah, well, thanks. But it's also the regulars that make Dr. Wax bearable. Babyhead, straight gay guy, original wigger. I'm going to miss them, I think. So, you've got the fat dude, you've got the guy with the sideburns, and our guy here in the baseball cap, the blonde. He's the kid going to college. Dr. Wax Records, that's a good name for a record shop. Those creeps are gross, specifically Babyhead. That fucking old dude always pulling his Doritos out of his butt crack. What? Babyhead don't even wear no underwear. He's just picking his sweaty ass. That's even grosser. Yeah, well, they'll still be here when you get back on break. Combing through the vinyl. And so will we. At least I will. It's a perfect day job for a DJ. I thought DJing was the perfect job for a DJ. I'm serious. I get my pick of the platters that come in before they go out on the floor. That makes you the perfect employee for the doctor. He pays you in records. Yeah, shit. Nobody else has. I'm ripping him blind. What do you say we hit the point? Who's playing? Who cares? Marky's bar backing so we can score a couple rounds. Nah, I can't. I promised the rents I'd head home after work. My mom, my last night. I hear ya. Well, I guess this is it. I guess it is. Don't forget to text. So, points sound okay? And they head out to the bar. Jerry, what's his name? Mungo Jerry, that's the band name. This guy looks like the lead singer from Mungo Jerry. They had that song, In the Summertime. Ba-na-na-na-na-na. It's a good song. Sure, I'll go, have a couple, but I ain't staying out too late. I'm still hung from last night. And then we have the kid riding his bike, probably for the last time, getting ready to go to college, and this dude, walking down off the sidewalk, shoves him off his bike for no fucking reason. Just bam, right? This is where crime fiction becomes horror fiction. And maybe Brian Azzarello hit his limit on crime and wanted to move into horror. Or maybe it's not horror because it's not supernatural. I had someone else tell me that once. They said that the line between crime thriller and horror is that horror has some element of the supernatural. I'm not sure I believed him. And I suppose Robert McKee might have a different rule, but whatever. Hey, asshole, what the fuck? This guy turns around, pulls out a gun, and shoots the kid. Right? The kid just had his last day at Dr. Wax. Just had his last day. All his friends see this happen. Oh my God! Oh my God! My lonely friend. And something is up with the letters today, but written by Brian Azzarello, illustrated by Eduardo Risso, colored by Trish Mulville, lettered by Clem Robbins, cover by Dave Johnson, assistant editor Casey Cias, and editor Will Dennis. Now look at this. No backgrounds, just these two characters, the pages, the panels, the effect on their friends. Nothing else in the world exists right then. You don't need any backgrounds. You don't need to see the Flatiron Building or the sidewalk or the trash can or the mailbox or the light post, even though I want to put them all in there. I won't be satisfied until all of that's in there. But you know what? If I'm being paid $20 an hour and I got to get this page done in 8 hours, then maybe all I've got time for is the characters and the bike to be in perspective. Maybe the background gets short shift. Zuda Comics. That looks cool. High noon. High moon. High moon. When the sun sets, there'll be a showdown. Right? Cowboys versus werewolves? How bad could that be? Hotel and casino. Here we have the bench. Cole's out there having a cigarette. Branch sits down. Want a beer, Burns? You gotta be shitting me. Cole's character has changed since he became a Minuteman, hasn't it? He very much is the guy who pinned an engagement ring to a telephone pole with a stiletto. He's been different the moment that ice cream truck blew up. I think Laszlo was the last bit of mercy he had in him. I wasn't about to just go in and look, so I bought a sixer. Well, he's there, alone. It looks that way. Looks that way? Is that way. I went in to take a piss, and I acted like I was dumb, went into the ladies' room first. You acted? It was empty. He's alone. Jesus, what did I do to get into this mess? Not what I asked you to, Stump. That's why I'm in it too. So now remember, Cole's going to remind us, this is Atlantic City, obviously, Casino Royale. This is the bench. This is not just a bench, this is the bench that we just saw from issue 25 because I didn't have it when it first happened. It was just done a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple days ago. I gave you a pass and you didn't take it. A favor was all I was asking. And what do? I suppose if I said I was sorry, it wouldn't change anything. This is interesting. I'm going to pick up the comic and move it. I figure I can't move the camera, but I can move the comic around. So check that out. I suppose if I is a question mark. So is this digital lettering? I suspect it must be, because all the I's moving forward are question marks. And I suppose at some point, maybe a find and replace got done, or I don't know what got done, but a bunch of the I's got turned into question marks, which is clever, but wrong. And so here's Cole and Branch, and Cole says, you know, I killed a man sitting on this bench one time. One time, says Branch. Now that's clever considering that Cole was repeating everything Branch said. Now it's his turn to repeat Cole. Cole grabs his ear. So far. And walks off to Tommy's four-leaf clover. Branch picks up a beer. Bonsoir, Monsieur Branch. So that's a female speaking in French to Branch. Remember, Branch used to be in Paris. Here we have that scene from earlier with Quentin the record shop. I'm cold. And then so now you have the kids looking over at the adults across the street. Is that? I don't know. I never met him. It must be. Those are his parents. He was on his way home. Fuck, man. This has nothing to do with the Trust and the Minutemen. This is just great storytelling. But this is the 100 Bullets is the venue where we get this. So this is the opportunity Brian Azzarello found to tell these little mini stories. These little mini tragedies is what they are. So Cole goes in, tequila, lime, and salt. Couple limes, no salt. You got it, buddy. You got it, buddy. Excuse me? I'm not just here to drink. What the fuck is this, a fag bar? No offense. Let me get that. Look, I'm sorry. No offense. Let me get that. You want to buy me a drink? Look, I'm not doing much to change the voices up. Maybe I should. So Cole walks in. Tequila, lime and salt. Couple limes, no salt. You got it, buddy. You got it, buddy. Excuse me? I'm not here just to drink. What? Fuck is this, a fag bar? So that is Ronnie Rome with a split lip. No offense. Let me get that. You want to buy me a drink? Look, I'm sorry. I know. Fag's not a good word. I stuck my foot in my fucking mouth. Your foot in your fucking mouth. Huh. Let me just get that, okay? Sure. Then back to your room. Give me a break, huh, Chief? I'm twice your size. Really? Then Ronnie slams down his fist. Now, this is weird. This is a weird scene. It's unnecessary because they are there to meet each other. And the only people getting conned by this particular magic trick is us, the audience. We don't know what's going on. The writer knows what's going on. The artist knows what's going on. Ronnie and Cole know what's going on. The bartender, I suppose, doesn't. And you and I don't. It doesn't make any sense yet. Right now, it's just Cole and Ronnie tugging each other's chains for no fucking reason. But there is a reason, and we're about to find out what it is. So this is Atlantic City, where the bars are hotels and casinos, right? Every bar is attached to a restaurant, attached to a casino, attached to a hotel. You looking for trouble? And here we get another question mark as the I. I ain't afraid of it, but that's not what I'm looking for. And here we even get the question mark apostrophe M under I'm, right? Agent Graves sent me. What? Oh, fuck me. I thought we were through with that. So there we have an L cut to Branch and a woman on that same bench where Branch had his 6-pack of beers. When we were together that time, I drew the impression that life was something you found abhorrent. I still do, Branch says. But what now? So that, lighting her cigarette, Branch lighting her cigarette, is Echo Memoria, who did not kill Ronnie, who is literally 100 feet away with Cole in the bar, right? Now I'm living it. So Branch, right, is in over his head. He is out of his depths. He does not know what's going on. You know the saying, if you don't know who the sucker is when you walk into the room, it's you. That's where Branch is. Branch is playing a game he does not know the rules of. He's been surprised by Echo on this bench. That's trippy, becoming one's own obsession. That's a beautiful way of putting what I am. So you're not a prostitute anymore? I am what the situation requires. What does that make me? So they both laugh together, right? So what does that make him? That makes him the situation, doesn't it? That makes him the project. That makes him the mission. Branch is now the goal. Okay, my name's Detective Moretti. I read your statements. And as soon as I confirm your contact information, you can go. Go? Yeah, though you're going to have to come in for a lineup tomorrow morning. You caught the guy? We picked up someone matching your description. He was carrying a gun, which happened to have been recently discharged. I'd say we have our shooter. Why? He confessed. So think about that, right? The three kids are still sitting there. It's been, 2 hours, maybe? Maybe 3, probably 2 hours, probably 90 minutes. They've caught the guy. The cop is there talking to them, has probably already interviewed him. So let's say 2 hours. No, I can't talk about that. Why? Were they enemies? Was there something? He wasn't in no gang. He didn't mess with anybody. Easy, they got the guy. No! He's right, dude. Why the fuck did this happen? Stop it. You want a reason? Please. The shooter claims he didn't know your friend from the hole in his head he gave him. Your friend was in the way. That's all. That's harsh. But how many times do you see that on the First 48, I don't watch those shows because they're a little bit too close to, it's a little bit too much real horror, And you see how dumb the cops are and how dumb the criminals are. And you recognize that, I heard they interviewed the guy, I think his name was Stephen Cho, who came up with Cops, where originally he just took a VHS camcorder, rented a limo, and followed police cars as they, streamed around Los Angeles. That's all he did, and turned it into a show. And then he started working with the police and blah, blah, blah. But originally, it was just him standing out of the sunroof of a limousine recording the action. And one of the things they said, how come you just focus on the ghetto? How come you're just doing, why is this show racist, essentially? He said, look, when financial advisors start throwing remotes at the cops when they show up and jumping out the window and running down the block and making them chase them, I'll record that. But if they just show up to their appointments when the cops call them by the telephone, then there's nothing to record there. So that's what those shows are, and you recognize that that's who those people are, and that's the kind of murders they commit. Just like this, impulse murders, for no reason. He got in my way. It's like pushing someone in front of a train. It's like standing on the edge of a building and wanting to jump. Mike Carey, Eisner Award nominee for Lucifer. Everyone has something to hide, faker. There's just a body, no reason. To explain why a person kills another, as long as I've been on this job, I've never heard a reason that's good enough. And isn't that exactly what I'm talking about? The people who do that, they didn't think it through. It's exactly the opposite. They didn't think. So we done. And so here we cut to this room, right? A rented hotel room. Ronnie Rome sitting on the couch. Theoretically, if this was your first 100 Bullets comic, you don't know what's going on between Cole and Ronnie. And it's about to get thick. So we done? I'd like to thank you for getting me the painting, Cole says. Wasn't told I was getting it for you. So Cole looks like he's put on some weight. I know your brother. I have some trouble with him. He killed a friend of mine who I didn't like, but respected. We didn't get along, and not like me and your brother don't. It was different. You respected him. Yeah. I figure I owe him one. So Cole is leaning into the dark side. My brother is a dick. Are you just saying that because you know what I'm about to do? No, I'm saying that because I know my brother better than you do. And we cut back to the kids on the street. They're cutting back and forth. Like I've said before, in novels, it's illegal. And B.V. Larson, who does the Undying Mercenary series, is really good with this. He stays with his main character, James McGill, throughout the story. Every scene is a James McGill scene. And you do not see anything that doesn't happen to James McGill. And that is kind of cool. but it becomes a little bit one note. You can see it a little bit in something like Dread, and that's kind of why they gave him Agent Anderson in the movie, and that's kind of why they gave the Lone Ranger Tonto. But so here we have the street, they're cleaning up after the mess, and then Cole comes down to the bench where Branch is sitting, and he says, "Well, Stump, looks like we got what we came for." And Branch is just sitting there looking out at the ocean with a hole in his neck. "Screw that canned piss. Let's go get us a real round, huh, Stump?" Stump. And that is it. That is 100 Bullets 88. All right, talk to you guys tomorrow.